Hi, I'm Kelsey.
Hey.
Sloan.
Stacy.
Jim. Edward. Kyle. Dylan. James. Zach. Luke. Jim.
Nice to meet you guys. Start the quiz at the end, I guess. Well, cool. Did you want me to get started?
However you want to go about it.
Okay, so I was talking to Mr. Bunton and met him a couple months ago, and he came up while my wife and I were painting and getting the store ready. Have any of you, I know Jesse has, has anybody else been into the store yet? Okay. Have you guys? Oh, yeah. So anyway, I'll give you a little background on it and then kind of pose what I was talking to Mr. Bunton about, what I was going to hopefully have you guys work on. So I worked at Wells Fargo, the financial firm downtown, for the past 6 years, and I did financial planning for them. And the whole time when I was working there and just on the side, I always had this idea of opening a clothing store. And, you know, I've been thinking about it, and over the past year I've been researching to save money. And my wife and I decided to open it, so I quit my job. I'm doing this full time, but this is kind of like my passion, kind of dream job type of thing to try out before I get too old or I get too, stuck in one career or whatever you want to call it. And so that's kind of the reason behind this. I've had an interest in this ever since I was your guys' age. I've always traveled a ton, researched different stores, different brands, whatever you want to call it, but I'm sure you guys have different hobbies and different things you really get pumped up about. That's how I am about clothes and fashion and things like that. So anyway, so I've been working on it for the past year. One of the things which I'm sure you guys are aware of in this current economy and things like that, it's hard to get loans, whether it's a home loan, a car loan, or something like that. But my wife's name is Lauren, by the way. But what Lauren and I did is we just saved up our own money. So that's what we're doing. We're doing off of our own money, which is kind of a scary thing to spend a lot of your savings, on this, especially in this economy. Like retail is probably not the number one thing people tell you to go make a bunch of money on, to get rich or anything. But it was something we felt strongly about. And so we saved up our own money. We had a goal in mind. We made a business plan, and we did that. We signed a lease on the spot in downtown Kirkwood. We're right across from Renouche and Amici's on the main drag. And we got a 2-year lease. We got a really good deal on it, and we're just kind of operating on that right now. So that being said, the fact that we're doing our own money, what our struggle with and what we're really trying to be conscious of is looking at every penny we spend. Because obviously, at the heart of it, this is our money that we saved, and so we just don't want to waste money on a bunch of stuff. And so we're trying to be really strategic with our marketing. So, one of the things we're doing is doing a lot of social media, because obviously that's free marketing tools you can use. We're doing let's see what else. Oh yeah, we're doing print advertising in like St. Louis Magazine, a Live magazine. We're trying to look at different sponsorships within the community to, see if that can help get our name out. But really, what we really want to do is just get our name out there, because I'm sure with you guys living in St. Louis and being here and growing up here, I'm assuming that if you like something in St. Louis, you're willing to drive to it, whether it's downtown, whether it's the Central West End, whether it's Chesterfield, whatever the case might be. And so that's what we're trying to get people to do, is aside from the community of Kirkwood, is how do we expand past that to get people to drive to downtown Kirkwood and not only shop at our store, but a lot of the other small retail establishments. So, all that being said, what that leads up to is, how do I prepare for my first holiday season? Because in retail, the way you survive is especially the holiday season, that October through December time frame. A lot of people, that's like, the profits they make in those 3 months really hold them over for other times of the year when you have your ebbs and flows within, whether it's slow or it's doing well. And then also too is how after that, after the holiday season, how do I maintain a loyal customer so that they keep coming back, whether it's not only January and February, but just next year within my first year. So, does that help out? Cool. One other thing, let me tell you the concept of my store. I forget about that. I'll probably help. East and West, the reason I named it that, one of the things I was telling you, my wife and I have traveled a lot, and so I've been in New York a bunch, in Los Angeles and San Francisco, whether those for my old job or just for fun. I've been in Europe 3 separate times as well. And what I wanted to do is, I'm from St. Louis. I grew up in Kirkwood, Decatur area, and we're planning on staying here long term. We're going to raise our family here, and I want my kids to have raised here. And so what we want to do is, I always see these awesome stores in Los Angeles. Man, I wish we would have something like that here in St. Louis. I mean, not even that crazy, just like this really cool store that especially guys could go into, feel comfortable, get something neat that they might not see at any other store in St. Louis, and have exposure to these brands that are on the coast that nobody else has. And so that was kind of my idea behind it. So East and West, bringing kind of the coast and the styling of the coast to St. Louis, with a lot of brands that nobody else carries here. So, and I call it a lifestyle store because it's not only just clothing. I carry footwear, accessories, skincare products, grooming stuff, and then also we're going to do live art and music events too. So, yeah. Cool. All right. Are we any questions now, or?
Why are you guys looking at me?
I just have a question.
Yeah.
So you mentioned like seeing like the other stores and stuff,
Yeah.
and like just really wanting like one of those really cool stores. What specifically? Because I mean I've never been in any of those. What specifically do you like about them? Do you want to incorporate in your store, and like kind of talking about like the brand image? Like
Yeah.
what do you want your store to look like?
Yeah. So, you mean in terms of like the decor and things like that, or the specific?
Kind of even just like walking in, like when you talked about the holiday
Yeah.
season, like what do you want people to see? What do you want the overall like image to look like?
Okay, well, one of the things I love in music, I don't know if anybody else are huge music fans in here. If you saw my blog, I do monthly playlist, and one of the things one of the first things I want the customer to experience is like some really great music playing, whether you know it or not. That's just part of the atmosphere. I also want it to be like, I painted it like neutral colors so that it's like kind of calming to be in there. I don't know if you guys, when you're at the mall, but like when there's some of the stores, I have nothing against Abercrombie, but like when you walk in there, there's like, hey, do you work there? Yeah. But no, I'm just saying, like you walk in, and all of a sudden it just hits you in the face, like the scent, and then like the music's pumping. And my wife's made comments for, like, she kind of gets a headache when she's in there, and like I want an atmosphere where it's like the customers get not only are there for the product, but they get to know me, and I provide them an experience that they won't get anywhere else, like kind of that customer service experience, and that it's somewhere that they just want to hang out too. So, thanks.
Another question pertaining to your customers, what exactly is your target market? Are you aiming more towards like younger males coming out of college, or are you aiming towards the parents that are going to be buying it for the younger males, or there's kids? That's
a great question. So just from my month of experience so far, I would say we've had most of our customers have been, I would say, late 20s to late 30s so far, typically male. I've noticed with men, you can take this for what it's worth, men have been, there haven't been as many guys who bought stuff compared to women, but the guys who bought stuff have spent a lot more. Whereas we've had more female transactions, but they've all been lower transactions. So that's something I noticed. But really with kind of all the product I'm buying and carrying, I'm geared toward the 18 to early 40s for men, really who want a unique product that's a quality product, who are willing to pay a little more, whether that is the parent buying it for the child or the guy. So, is that
perfect.
I also bought business cards, so more of just to get your guys' input on them, because I'm like all my marketing, all my social media, everything, I'm doing it myself. So I designed these. I'd love your guys' input on these, so I'm gonna pass it around. That's cool. So that was the only thing I brought to this.
Do you have like a certain race you're like trying to reach out to within that like target market?
Not necessarily, to be honest. So I don't think there's any ethnicity. I think I've seen put it this way, everybody I've met in the industry, I've met white people, black people, Asian people, Hispanic people, who all are either reps for these companies, designers for these companies. And so it doesn't, yeah, that really doesn't matter to me.
Could I ask what your strategy for your website is?
Yeah, so the strategy for the website is not only to kind of create some brand exposure, but also to have an online presence in terms of the store. So, yeah, we have the online store on there. Really, I want most of what people to do in terms of getting acclimated with us is to be through Facebook or Twitter, or kind of those mediums. Because I feel like you guys could probably tell me, but when the most stuff you probably interact with is Facebook and Twitter and things like that, and I would say that's what the general consensus is. So most likely people are going to pull up my Facebook page or my Twitter feed than they would go type in our website.
Right.
So what I'm trying to do is kind of stay in constant contact in the sense for the Facebook and Twitter and for the website, just kind of have volume on there and push people toward that as new things come out. So,
Where exactly do you get your clothes from? Like, where are like the distribution, like where, are they like far away? Does it take a long time for you to get these?
yeah, most of them are from, a majority of the ones I have right now are New York, Los Angeles, and then they have distribution, warehouses, I guess, there. But a lot of the designers I work with, this has presented a challenge in terms of buying, because when you buy for a clothing store, you usually buy 6 to 9 months in advance. Not for everything, but like I'm placing orders right now for next spring and summer. And for some of the companies, they're kind of like me in a sense. They're smaller designers, and that's why I'm excited about carrying them. But the problem is, I place one order with them, and then when I get their product next spring, when it sells out, it sells out. So some of the stuff I can reorder, like skincare, candles, fragrances, like little things, and maybe some shirts and shoes here and there. But most of the stuff I'm carrying, I can't reorder. So
So once it's gone, it's gone.
yeah,
So it's kind of like difficult to know how much to purchase, because you don't know how much
Yeah.
you're gonna need.
yeah, especially
You don't-
too.
You don't wanna over.
You can go into the rabbit hole too, because you're like, okay, what kind of sizes do people want? Then what kind of colors do people want? What kind of fits do people want? Do they want slim fit, right? So it's just like keeps building and building. But yeah, so typically everything is from New York, Los Angeles. I have a few in the Midwest, a few in Canada, but that's it. So
Are you tracking like what people have been buying, like the sizes and stuff?
yeah,
What's
I
the-
have a tracking software that does all that. So
Okay.
I can run daily reports, monthly reports, and then it keeps compounding up to a year or something. We'll track it. So.
Okay.
It's actually, I'm using Square technology. Have you guys seen that?
Oh, yeah.
So it's a little white thing. If you guys have gone to like a food truck or anything before, they plug it into their iPhone and you can swipe it. I have the Register app, so it's through an iPad, but it tracks all the analytics and everything. So what was cool about Square, I don't know if you guys heard, Starbucks just signed an agreement with them, and they're going to use Square in all of their stores across the country. And Starbucks is investing $30 million into it. So for me, that's really good because that means Starbucks probably expects the best for their product, And so Square will be doing more updates, a lot more funding, things like that, some more features for people.
Does that allow you to keep any information on customers and stuff like that? Do you have any kind of data system in place?
It does in terms of the frequency in which they purchase things. So I have like a rewards thing through Square, but in terms that's all I have.
So you have like name information of specific people through that?
I have to look more into that because I just started that last week. So, but I'm not sure how much information I have. I try to look up because you can like get email receipts.
Right.
The customers can, and I try to see if I can get a log of all that and pay for privacy reasons and pay that to you all that I move. So,
Going back, now do you currently have any employees that help you with all these different strategies, like buying different colors and everything, or are you running everything yourself? And do you have any employees working in the store currently?
it's a Brian.
Yes.
No, my plan is to hire a couple people in the fall. Really what I wanted to do, I've had this in my head for such a long time, this idea and just kind of building this up that I actually wanted to do it by myself for the first few months, just so I can kind of live out this vision and ideas that I had. And then obviously I know that I can't do this every day, all day. So I'll get some help in the fall to get a couple people to work. So
Could you talk a little bit about your overhead overall, kind of relating to in general, your overhead expenses and how large they are?
Yeah, so I have, from a, just getting down to nuts and bolts, I mean, I have rent, utilities, just like you guys would have at your homes. And then I have, like internet and phone. And then, that's kind of the basic stuff. It's a pretty small operation in that sense. I pay $30 a month for my online store. And then, I'm trying to think of what else. And aside from the clothing product, actually, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean that's basically it. So, and then anything left, is either profit or I can use for marketing or whatnot.
So you said that you did print ad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that cost you? Like, does it cost a lot in your mind?
Yeah,
or does it-
print ad, it's a good amount. I was a little nervous doing it, but it's like one of those things in the first year. It's just kind of like I'm going for it. It's like if this doesn't work out after 3 years, I'm gonna probably close up shop and then come back and get a job in the financial industry or something. So one of the things I wanted to do in the first year was try everything to make sure it in a reasonable sense within the budget to make sure that I am able to do everything. So print ad, I'll tell you guys, it's not a big deal. So St. Louis Magazine, they charged me for each issue. I signed up to be in 6 issues for the course of this September and next September. It's $650 per issue. And then a live magazine is about $450. So I'm going to do 6 of those as well.
Are you seeing good results from that?
Yeah, actually I have. Both of the issues came out last weekend, and I was pretty skeptical. It was one of those things I was like, I'm going to try it, we'll see what happens. I've had probably 10 people, separate customers, come in the past week who've either referenced the Live magazine or St. Louis magazine. Because anybody that's new or that I've never met before, I was asking them to hear about us. And so that's been kind of encouraging. So it's good.
Like on your Facebook or do you have any like discounts that you
Like sales promotions?
yeah, like sales promotions that you put on there so like they go to your Facebook and see it and they can it's like whatever you want to give them.
Yeah, so one of the things, I'll hit on that in a couple things. So I am going to be doing, like when we do sales or promotions, I'm going to be doing this pretty much exclusively through Facebook and Twitter. One of the things I am going to try to do with our store is that I don't want to be like a sales store in the sense that there's always stuff going on sale or promotions. Yeah, it's like I want it to be more exclusive in the sense that I'm carrying these brands that nobody else does. We're going to put them on sale when the time comes, but I don't want to do promotions because a couple of the other shop owners I've talked to kind of have stores in high similar price range. They said they actually did Groupon one time. And I always thought, hey, Groupon would be awesome, great exposure. The problem is the people I use Groupon for like restaurants and everything like that can get a good deal. But for shopping, the people who get Groupon a lot are the ones who want discounts on everything. So the only reason they come is to look at your sales stuff, and then that's all they're ever going to buy. They're never that kind of a customer you can build that will keep coming back and purchasing items that are maybe more expensive or willing to try new things. And so, so I am going to do promotions through Facebook and Twitter, but it's probably not going to be as often. The thing I do in Square for my rewards is once they've spent $100 5 separate times, they get 20% off the next time they come. So anyway, that's like a $500 investment at least for them, but also it rewards them for coming back and actually making next purchases. So.
On the promotional things, I know that you like music, and did you mention that you have live music in the store?
Yeah, we like a DJ for our name.
All right, yeah. So yeah, I was gonna ask like what sort of promotional things are you doing with that? And what have you done so far? And what are you looking to do?
Yeah, so kind of what I'm looking to do, I have a lot of friends who are local artists in St. Louis, and so we're going to do like art openings, art galleries. Once a month is what my goal is. I realize that might be a little too optimistic right now, just knowing how busy I am with everything. So if we could do at least once a quarter, but essentially what we do is on a Friday night, open from 7 to 9, promote it through Facebook and Twitter and have the artists promote it as well, and then show their work for about a month. And then people could come in and buy it. Nothing would go to me, but it would just be a place to support local artists and have their work up, and then also, have new people coming to my store that maybe wouldn't have naturally. Yeah. And then also we're going to do, I have a limited space, so we might do some DJ things in the future, but if I can, I have a few friends who play like guitar or like singer-songwriters who might do like a events where we do like little acoustic things and things like that, so.
I know Mr. Lund said something about like partnership. Are you looking to do any like partnership with like Fun in the Sun or anything?
I haven't looked at them. I've actually talked to, have you, any of the girls been over to Blush before?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I've talked to Sarah over there about possibly doing something down the road. And then one of the things, I forgot to add this. Have you guys been to downtown Washington? There's a new pie location. Have anybody been to that yet? Okay, so they're like redeveloping like this big area right across from like the America Center in Old Gemstone. And it's called the Mercantile Exchange, and they're sinking like millions of dollars into this building to redevelop it. And so like Robust Wine Bar that's in Webster, Pie, and then the sushi place are all going to go down there. And then there's actually going to be a thing called Collective, which is small little sections for different retail shops around St. Louis. And so like there's going to be several women's shops, jewelry places, little art thing, and then I'm actually going to do a 4x6 square foot thing of east and west, so menswear. So, because I realized, a lot of my customers might be downtown, so we're actually going to do that as well. That's $200 a month. So, so we're going to do that partnership with down there. So.
Speaking of location, wondering what advantages you're hoping to gain from opening a store in Kirkwood. So like what was the reasoning behind choosing the location?
Yeah, well, I'm very familiar with the area. Like, I've been coming to the Custard Station ever since I was probably 2 years old. So it's like I've been walking around downtown Kirkwood ever since I was little. But anyway, it's a retail, it's a small business retail location, which is great. I'll be honest, I was just running that. I looked in Central West End, I looked in the Loop, I looked downtown, I looked in Maplewood, I looked all over because I wanted to make sure I didn't leave any, stone unturned. And so, but what I love about Kirkwood, I got a great deal on the rent and the lease, to be honest. And then also, the great thing about Kirkwood is that there's a lot of good women's shops in Kirkwood that draw people to Kirkwood to shop, not only like local residents, but also people from outside other parts of the St. Louis community. And so naturally, you would think that if people are willing to drive to Kirkwood for these shops, aside from just the local foot traffic walking around, if there was a men's focused shop in the area, then hopefully people would come for that same reason. So I was kind of thinking about it. Plus, I'm familiar with the area. People have money to spend on retail because in this economy, when people cut back, the first thing they cut back on are clothes and extra expenses, entertainment and whatnot. And so, but there's people in this demographic in this area and other surrounding areas who are still willing to spend on those type of things. And so it's a good location. So plus right on the main drag. The real estate guy said Kirkwood Road between I'm gonna mess it up probably a little bit, between up by Alpine Shop and down to Target is the second most traveled section of Streetway in St. Louis behind 141 Manchester. And which I would know that because every day when I'm looking out there, I'm like, holy cow, the traffic never stops. And then also too, right before I signed the lease, they told me they were tearing down those 2 buildings that are next to PJ's across from Amigos.
I work there. Yeah.
Where are you at?
Amigos.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But they tore those down and they're making those all parking spaces. Because the girl that was in those space performing, I don't know if anybody ever been to Lillian's, but she said the #1 complaint was lack of parking. And I know if you guys know, it's like if you're driving downtown Kirkwood, it's a pain in the neck, especially Thursday, Friday, Saturday night to find somewhere to park. So they're adding, I think, it's debatable, I've heard many numbers, but between 40 and 60 spaces back there, which would be really cool. So.
Could you talk a little bit about your pricing strategies and stuff?
Yeah, so I would say one of the things that I try to educate the people that come into the store on is that my prices are going to be a little more expensive than just your typical Gap or mall store or anything that you might go see. But the reason I'm doing that is a lot of these brands, like the quality of the clothing is a lot better, and then also the fit's a lot better, it's a lot more unique, and things like that. So I'll tell you my pricing strategy. All basics like t-shirts, sweatshirts, anything you would consider a basic that's not like a button-up shirt, logo, whatever the case might be, is all under So I mean, I have shirts that could be as low as $15 or $20. I just made hats like with our logo on, they're $25. We have sweatshirts that are $30 or $40 or $50, things like that. All my button-down shirts, I stay under $100. Now, most of them are $60 to $80, but a lot of stores I talk to are in our same vein. They said once you go over 100, that kind of, whatever reason, once people see 3 digits instead of 2 for the price, automatically kind of pushes them away unless they're a real high spender. And then for denim, I'm really into like jeans and denim and whatnot. We do 3 pricing tiers. Like we do under 100, mid 100s, and we have, so like lower 100s, higher 100s.
Are you comfortable disclosing your markup? Like how much-
Oh yeah, so I mean it's pretty well known in the fashion industry or just the clothing apparel industry. It's 50% generally. So yeah, I mean if this shirt was $60 at our store, I'd probably pay around $30.
So like you're just saying, I don't know, with your hats or logo, are you trying to eventually build, like make kind of like your own, almost like the East plus West like brand, like your own clothing?
Yeah. So I'll tell you right now. So I've already made hats. So all it is just the backward map logo on the front, real small, with a plus sign on the back, kind of like a Major League hat. I made those, and then I'm gonna make T-shirts as well. So like have like let's see if anybody has like a tri-blend kind of heather shirt. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but like kind of those soft kind of knitted shirts with like a kind of distressed map logo on the front, or like one right here on the chest or something like that. Just have a few offerings of our logo, because that's when a lot of the comments I got, a lot of people like our logo and they want to have it on a shirt or a hat or something. And so that's, I was thinking about doing it already, and then a lot of people started saying that, so I was like, okay, what the heck?
I know one thing, like those type shirts he's wearing with the polo guy, if you maybe add some of those shirts.
Just a
with your
little thing.
The-
I bet people would buy a ton of them.
Okay,
honestly.
cool.
A lot of them younger, like our age, like
College,
yeah, like college. A lot of people like that will buy those. And if they're not like like too expensive,
Yeah, they'd be
I
all
don't know
under
how much.
$25.
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
reasonable.
Yeah.
And it gives you exposure.
Yeah. That's what, and also too, like, I want, like, going back to like my philosophy of the store and like what I want to have when customers come in. There's some people who come in and saw some of the like jeans or shirts, like, whoa, this is expensive. But like, I want it to be a place that even like, whether it's you guys or my friends or whoever the case might be, comes in and like, yeah, there's some really expensive stuff, but I can get a hat or a T-shirt and still support it, or hang out here and get something that I feel comfortable purchasing that doesn't break the bank. So I try to have stuff that's all in the floor. Like I got a bunch of hats that are all under $20, like camo hats, like military hats, things like that. So
What's your, when they like look at your store from outside, what's your first, like what do you want your first impression to be? Because I know like first impression is a big thing, like your first impression is what's gonna last.
yeah, that's something I've been wrestling with. Like it's, I've noticed some of the people, like older people in Kirkwood especially, they walk up to my store and like they come to the window and press their face against it and go like this, and like they leave like a nose and forehead print on my window, and like they stare at it for like 30 or 40 seconds, and then like they'll walk away or come in. I didn't know people were so afraid to walk in the door like that, but it's just,
That was
so anyway, but also what I realized for clothing stores is one of the things you have to do for merchandising is show outfits and show things you carry. But if you guys can tell me how to do this without using traditional mannequins, I would love that, because I just don't like mannequins. And now I realize I might have to use them, but to display stuff. But if you've seen the store, I've tried to be creative with how it's like one side we put a ladder and hung stuff up and kind of did kind of a creative way to do it. And then on the other side, I got just like the half body forms that don't have a head, and then like a coat rack and hung stuff up and things like that. So.
What about, you said like you're really interested in music and you want it to look like mellow. What about maybe like a old, I don't know, like guitar, like some musical like instruments that you could like hang stuff over?
Yeah.
Or or like maybe just like a bench, and like maybe the guitar could be like on a bench or something, like some, because you want people to
Just
know that it's
incorporating
like,
that other
yeah,
element, yeah.
yeah, there's
Okay.
some thought.
Oh, the other thing too, for those of you who haven't been to the store, I basically bought everything from this antique store in Brentwood called the White Rabbit. I don't know if anybody's been there. But they have a lot of really neat, like, distressed pieces, and like I got some like cool, really cool metal work tables, some like old distressed wood pieces. And when one of the things, like, if you've been into like some really nice stores before, if it's like all like super nice stuff, it already feels like expensive and like a little off-putting, like I don't want to touch anything in here, you know?
Yeah,
And so
down in Neiman Marcus or something.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
Everything's
go
like
in, it's like
perfectly set. So
white, and just, I don't want to be in.
exactly. So what I did was, like, with antique stuff, it kind of already feels like it's homey in a sense. Like it has like its unique charm, but also since it's distressed and it's been used before in a sense, that it provides kind of a warmth and accessible quality to it. So that's how like all of our displays, like I have all of our candles and fragrances like on our old Rocks candy cabinet from like the 50s, which is kind of cool. And so like just things like that to add here and there. So
Like so far, have you like run into any problems with anything?
not really, no. I mean, no. I mean, I don't know what you would consider a problem. I mean, my dog had I bring my dog in Monday through Friday. And he ate something apparently that upset his stomach and he had to go to the bathroom and I forgot his leash. That was probably the biggest problem so far. So I went to the bathroom behind Ice and Fuel the other day. I had to apologize to some ladies who were eating lunch. And, so that was awesome. But yeah, other than that, I mean, nothing big so far. I mean, that was kind of my reasoning behind doing a soft opening is because I've never worked retail before. So like, I mean, working at Abercrombie, it's like you learn how to fold stuff, how to position stuff, how to interact with customers. I had never done any of that before I opened the store, which is kind of crazy to think about. I think I invested like all my savings into this and opened a retail store. So what we did was we wanted to do soft opening for a month, get our feet wet, make sure there was no big wrinkles, I would say, and then we did our grand opening party about a week and a half ago. So.
How are your sales doing? Like, are you selling a lot of stuff, you know? Like,
Yeah,
how much stuff did you like buy to open up your store? Like, how much, you know?
Percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've done pretty well so far. I mean, probably the easiest way to speak to that is, like, okay, we've been open 5 Mondays maybe now, or 6 Mondays, and I'm open 11 to 7 Monday through Saturday. Yesterday, from 6 to 7, I sold like 3 or 4 things. That was the first transaction I've ever had on a Monday out of the past month and a half. Not only that, out of those 3 people that came in yesterday, that was out of 5 total that have come in on Monday in the past month and a half. Now on Saturdays, the first Saturday we're open, we have a sales goal each day. We doubled our sales goal the very first Saturday we were open. So like what I've seen every week, what pre-grand opening, post-grand opening, as Monday is by far the slowest. I mean, there's been like 3 Mondays where these come in, literally. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it progressively gets busier and busier. So just, yeah. And that's what one of my friends, if you guys have been out in the Alpine shop before, one of my best friends was the store manager down there for a few years. And he said they do a multi-million-dollar business there. And he said there's some days nobody come to the Alpine shop. And you know how big that is. So he said that's just kind of what you got to get used to. Retail is there's going to be some days it's super slow, some days it's super busy, but generally your peak days are going to be Friday, Saturday. So,
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I know you talked about developing a loyal customer base. When a customer comes in for the first time, do you get something from them, like an email address or something to?
I don't right now. Okay. So that's probably something I need to figure out how to do.
And you said with the square, it's called, you just have to ask them, like if it's okay if this technology takes that, or what?
Square has like a privacy thing, so actually it doesn't.
Not at all.
Violate. Yeah, so it doesn't give me that. The
So
only
even
thing-
if you like get a consent, it still won't pick that up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
also, you talked about your different levels of pricing, like with the lower end and the higher end. Where are you seeing the majority of your sales coming from? Are you selling mostly the t-shirts or the button-down upper pricing range?
I've honestly, it's been all over the board. So like, I mean, a guy came in here the other day that I didn't know, and he bought 2 pairs of jeans and he spent $300. So, and then somebody came in yesterday and they bought 1 candle. So it's honestly been like all over the board, like in the sense that like I said, it goes back to females. What I've noticed, I've had more female transactions, but they're buying tank tops and under $50 purchases, where most of the guys who come in, they stay there a little longer, they look at a few more things, and they spend typically around $100. So I know that's definitely a difference I noticed.
Do you wear the clothes that you sell?
Yeah.
You do them. I know that's like one thing, instead of a mannequin, like they come to the store and they see you with the clothes on, they can see how they have a sense of what it will look like.
Yeah. I mean, not every single day, because I'm like, it's like one of those things where like when you're buying clothes, it's deceiving in the sense that like, oh, that would be sweet to have that shirt, that pair of jeans, those shoes. And then they're like, oh, so this is coming out of my bank. It's not like nobody's giving this to me for free, so I have to be kind of strategic in what stuff I get for myself. But I have a few shirts that I wear, a few pairs of pants I wear, a couple pairs of shoes, so I don't really tell you.
You still those socks you have on?
Yeah. So yeah, it's cool. Like about being an owner is like I met these people that make kind of fun socks. And it's a husband and wife in California, kind of like a small operation like me. They do kind of fun dress socks, and so struck up a relationship with them and carry their stuff. So they have like 10 stores in the U.S. that carry their stuff. GQ named them one of the best socks they have. So it's cool. You know, things like that.
So like you're saying with your, I think one really important thing is like people will go like from anywhere in St. Louis, maybe go to like the Loop to do pick up something like that. So have you been asking your customers like where they come from or where they've been?
Yeah.
And have you noticed mostly Kirkwood, or have you, from those magazines and stuff, your ads, have people been coming from places?
Yeah, I would say soft opening, grand opening, promotion, whole time, it was probably 85% Kirkwood. Some other people just kind of stumbling along it or maybe heard about it from a friend. Post grand opening, promotional time, I would say I've actually had like 5 or 6 people from WashU come. So, and you notice like WashU is a big school that draws kids from the coast. And then I've had a few people from like Clayton and Purdue come over as well. So,
How are the sales on the online store?
I've only had 2 sales so far.
And is that open? That's open to everywhere right now?
Yeah, like in the 2 sales I had were Miami, Florida, and New Orleans, Louisiana.
How did they know about your store? You like,
So
was it through like Twitter maybe or?
no,
Facebook
it's
or-
actually it's pretty cool. The service we use is called Big Cartel, and basically they
Oh,
okay, yeah. Basically, I mean, what you guys probably figured out is as times have progressed, you know, they try to make, there's all these companies out there trying to make it cost advantageous for small businesses, whether it's artists or local retail shops or whatever, to compete with the big guys. Because, I mean, I can't compete with people in the mall. I mean, they have millions of dollars behind them in terms of marketing systems and things like that, online stores, etc. Like, but Big Cartel, what they did is they tried to make an online store platform available for small shops like me. So they do $30 a month. You can do up to 300 products on there, and color and size can vary within each product. So I think I've used 100 of them so far. But one of the things they do as part of their service is like if you typed in a brand and say one of the brands who carries Life After Denim. If you type in Life After Denim pants, actually my store will come up because I have Life After Denim pants in my online store. And so I'm pretty sure that's how people found it. So I make sure I list all the brand names on the product descriptions because then it'll trigger that within Google.
we got on for it. You know, like after like under each piece of clothing, if they had like what kind of clothing for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is like,
Going back to the marketing strategy,
Yeah.
have you done anything, like I know that you've been in magazines like St. Louis, but have you been doing anything to gain loyal customers from Kirkwood or like around this area locally?
I
Or is it-
joined the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm gonna be doing a ribbon cutting with them, probably in the next month or so. I just gotta line that up, which day works for both of us, but, I'm gonna be doing that, and then, I don't know, I mean, honestly, I don't know. So,
And then also, you're trying to look, like, more become like a Kirkwood community shop with loyal customers from Kirkwood, or you're trying to become more of like a citywide, or like people from all over having loyal customers, like what are you trying to gain, or what loyal customers are you trying to gain?
I would say both in a sense, because I realize Kirkwood is vital to my success, but I realize that maybe not everybody in Kirkwood would probably be on board with the type of stuff I'm carrying. And so I'm trying to say, get a loyal base within Kirkwood, and maybe there's a bits and pieces that branch out as well. So.
Okay.
You know how you're talking about the website, then go on and type in like Upper Denim Jeans and your store pop up, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like other stores would too. Do you like compare your prices with their prices at all?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, basically when you work with all the manufacturers, you know, like when you guys get to see a price tag, it says like suggested retail or whatever on the tag. Pretty much I have to stay within a couple dollars of that. I mean, if it's a higher price item, you have a little more wiggle room, but you pretty much have to stay within that price range so that stores can't lowball everybody else and get all the sales. So if it's a $30 shirt that they suggest for $60, if I'm putting it at like $45 or $50 right off the bat, not on sale, but they could technically, the reps could then call you. If they called you out on it and you kept doing it, you pulled the line for the store, so, which, you know, we kind of create a better relationship between that, so. They understand you have to put stuff on sale eventually, but initially you have to price it with what they suggest pretty much.
When is like your merchandise turnover? Like how soon do you have to sell like all of your stock before like your new stuff comes in?
Yeah, so right now, we're like, as we speak, I'm doing a summer sale this weekend because I have like 4 or 5 shipments coming in within the next week or two of fall stuff. And so, because I'm sure you guys know, going back to school, you're probably looking at more fall items, things like that. And so, we're doing a summer sale of some of the things we've sold out of, maybe have 1 or 2 sizes left, and then we'll be turning over. So, basically, the seasons within the clothing industry are. You go to market in January or February to buy for fall, winter of that year. So I was in New York in January, and all those orders I did are now coming, like they're being shipped right now in September. Whereas I went to New York this past July, like about a month ago, and all the orders I'm writing right now and met with are the companies I met with up in July. Those are for next spring and summer, so they're getting shipped February, March, April.
So you have to go all the way up to New York
Yeah.
just to get the clothes and like put in an order. You can't like.
Oh, you can do the orders like online or the thing. The thing, obviously that's an expense to me.
Yeah.
It's valuable in the sense that like I've made a lot of networking connections on those trips, and then also what I've noticed were some of them that I didn't see in person. Like, maybe I ordered this shirt and I saw it in person and I loved it when I got to the store and was pumped about carrying it. Well, there was a couple of brands where I did everything offline, like either like PDFs, they sent me pictures and things like that. And then when I got shipped, I'm like, dang, that didn't look like exactly what I thought it would. The color wasn't the same, or just the type of shirt or whatever. Like I got these this is a good example. I got these chinos in, and they looked pretty cool on the online. And the guy's like, how did they fit? Because New York and Los Angeles, a lot of people wear like skinny, pants and slim fit. In St. Louis, there's some people that do, but not exactly coming around to like how slim some of the stuff people are on the coast is. And I got these things, and my friend came in, and he's a pretty skinny guy. He put these on, I'm like, dude, I would appreciate your support, but I would feel uncomfortable if I saw you wearing those. I was like, those are going straight to the sale rack. But anyway, so that was one of the snags I ran into just ordering online. Like, I thought they would be good fit. I looked at all the dimensions and I got them, and I'm like, oh, dang. So that's one of the good things is you can see samples of everything, and you can kind of see all the material, the fit, things like that. So it's worth spending a few $100 to go do that. So,
Did you design your website?
my brother. Yeah, I mean, I kind of visually I did. My brother's a computer programmer, so he built it. So.
Do you look in the future on like, I'm not saying like, changing your website around to get the feel of your store, or are you mainly?
Yeah, so, I would say my website is, if you look at a kid or something, and I realize I'm like a newborn in terms of retail, my website is still very much in the infant stages, I would say. One of the things we're gonna do is like put images on the front page, like I just have my logo there kind of as a placeholder right now. But we have, one of our friends is like a professional photographer, and he's coming to do a photo shoot at the store, and then we're gonna have like, rotating
Yeah,
images.
that's what we came up with that idea.
So-
We like saw your website, but that's something that you should.
Yeah, because you don't get a feel for like who my wife and I are. I mean, we have a little thing about us, but our the story of our store, but like you don't get a feel for like what the store looks like, anything like that. And so that will be on the front page, and then there'll like be a picture of us on our store page. So yeah, but I wanted to keep it like in terms of like the design of it, and I wanted to keep it simplistic and just kind of clean. And that was kind of the design, idea of just kind of doing the black and white, real clean lines and fonts and things like that. So,
When you're trying to hire employees, like, you have to, hire people who have experience and stuff, how to run a store, like, when you're not there.
yeah.
How are you gonna find those people?
Yeah, honestly, we have like a lot of friends who've said that they'd be interested in working, so that we've known for a while. And, one of my wife's friends, she's all into fashion and stuff, and she's in grad school right now, so I hired her and then somebody else. So I honestly, I'm probably not going to put out like a help one designer or anything. It's one of the things, it's like I want to maintain the integrity of our store, and I want the people who work there to care about it as much as I do, because it's my livelihood now. But also, one of the things that I think that'll differentiate us from any store at the mall or any other of the big stores is that providing like that customer experience they want to get somewhere else. And so I want the people that work with us to be able to do the same thing. And be able to, they're not only knowledgeable about the product, but they can talk to everybody. They're personable, and they make people feel comfortable when they come in. So
I'm just curious,
Yeah.
music you play, like,
yeah.
around the store, is it like live music of your friends, or is it just like mainstream?
Oh, it's just bands I like. I would say I listen to like a lot of like indie rock music and things like that. So yeah, it's basically that. So is anybody familiar with like Pitchfork at all, the music site? Okay. Anyway, it's an online site that like is related that does like indie rock. So it's like a blog for that kind of music. And so I find out about a lot of bands on there, and then I end up liking a lot of them. So those are the ones I typically play in the store.
Do you carry, like, because I know, like, that when you walk into, like, Abercrombie, the scent is really strong.
Yeah.
Does your store have a scent like that? Like
I wouldn't say, like, usually what I do in the morning is, like, we have, like, a fragrance line.
Yeah.
And so usually I'll just do, like, a couple sprays, so that just has a good start, like, fresh start to the day. I just do that. It was funny, I actually did it the other day. I sprayed this new one in. The first customer came in, didn't even make a comment on this, scent in the air, but they went straight to the fragrance section, and then she's like smelling them. She goes, I really like this one. And that was the one I sprayed it, and I was like, ooh, subliminal messaging.
Yeah, it does work, because in the Abercrombie Fish store next door, they have this cologne called Fierce, and that's what their store, it smells like every day, but it smells really good.
Okay.
Because
It
when
probably
you smell it,
smells
like,
well.
yeah, it smells, it
Yeah.
smells really good as well. And you just like walk past the store and you just smell it,
Yeah.
and that attracts a lot of people too, so.
Talking about sales and stuff, how are you gonna advertise for those and like let people know that there's gonna be a sale going on?
Yeah, pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to do exclusively through like Facebook and Twitter, and then different sign outside, and so we're gonna actually gonna do one like a chalkboard one, and so, you know, write stuff on there to attract people, so that's what I think it was for now.
Are these like at the front of your store? Like at the desk maybe? Well, if you decide to, I would think that maybe it'd be like important to have like your Twitter and your Facebook thing on here.
On here? Okay, cool. I was trying to like, yeah, and that's feedback I love on these. Like, I put our address, our phone number on the website. I didn't want to make them too cluttered because sometimes I get business cards and there's like line to line. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't read all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, if you think there's stuff that, whether it's Twitter or Facebook, would be more valuable, the thinking behind the website was I have an icon for Twitter and Facebook on there, so if they went to the website, they would do that. So I don't know.
If you were worried about it being too cluttered, I think the Twitter and Facebook would probably be better than the email.
Better than my email.
Because they can contact you through that.
Okay. Cool.
That might be.
Okay.
Or even if you just, under the website, if you even just put like the Twitter and Facebook like symbol, like that's just so
Oh,
you
yeah.
know that you actually have it.
Okay.
You don't have to actually put it on it, but
This is also,
just the
I
icon.
come to think, this is like my personal card. Actually, what I was gonna do, I didn't mention this, I'm gonna design like a business card for the business.
So that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Don't take the email off.
Maybe also this was a really good design card, in my opinion, because it's kind of simple and it's not like overwhelming when you look at it, like you said, like cluttered. But maybe one thing you might want to do is put like owner and operator under your name so people exactly know that they're talking to the owner of the store. Like, kind of gives them like a better sense that they,
You're talking
like
about
I'm talking to the
comfortability.
owner. Like,
Yeah, it was funny the other day, this older couple walked in and they're like, oh, okay, well, they were making all these like comments and suggestions and then they go, well, just tell the owner that and we'll just let them know what our thoughts are. I'm like, oh, that's actually me. I'm like, what? And how old are you? I was like, I look young for my age, so. But anyway.
One thing maybe, I don't know, do you have like maybe like a saying or like a, something like that, like bringing east and west to something like that?
I don't yet, and I've struggled with that.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
I like, cause let me tell you how I'm trying to differentiate it a little bit in the sense like of talking about the coast. Like, I have like a thing on our A-frame sign that says styles from the coast for people walking by. But like, it's not necessarily like every brand is going to be from the coast. Like, we have some denim that's from Kansas City, and we carry them in the standard from Michigan and things like that, so some Midwest brands. But it's like what people, you would see people walking around in New York or San Francisco or Los Angeles wearing, just like everyday stuff. Not like the crazy stuff, just like, and so that's what I'm trying to like, describe, like, I don't know. So that's, because I don't want them to say, oh, this brand is from the Midwest. Why are you saying like a brand? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why I've been struggling with the slogan. So if you guys have any ideas on that, that'd be great. So I've been wrestling with that a ton. But, yeah. I probably gotta run because I'm up in 5 minutes. Luckily I'm not over, so I can do it a few minutes late.
Any wrap up, any last thoughts? Okay, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah. I hope that was helpful, guys.
Do you find if they just email you directly if we have
Oh, yeah.
questions as we kind of move throughout this process?
Yeah, and honestly, if you guys ever want to stop by, check it out, ask me any questions about the store, I'm always there and be happy to answer. My wife's name is Lauren, I think I mentioned that before, if she's there, that's who it is.
Thanks so much, Brad.
Hey, no
Really
problem.
appreciate
Is that
your time,
helpful?
and, yeah, that was awesome, and,
Thanks for all the questions, guys, I appreciate it.
we'll get to work tomorrow.
Cool. All right.
Thanks.
See you guys later, have a good day.
Thank you.
you too.